Well, thanks for watching Market Day Report. Good morning. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Suzanne Alexander. Well, the National Milk Producers Federation has released a new quiz. It is called Are You Dumber Than a European? It aims to explore the difference between how plant-based beverages are labeled in the United States versus the EU. Bjerga joins us now for more on this. Alan, thanks for being here. A little background on how this idea for this quiz came about. Tell us about that.
Well, I have family in the European Union and visit about every year. And when I do, I always go to the grocery stores and marvel at the plant-based beverages. You know, when you go over there, they're not next to the dairy aisle like they are here. They're not refrigerated because most plant-based beverages are actually shelf stable. And most importantly, they're not called milk. The European Union, while the United States has many differences with the European Union on agricultural policy, I got to hand it to them on this one. They enforce integrity on dairy terms. And if something is called milk, you know it's coming from an animal, and the plant-based beverages are off someplace else. People somehow still manage to figure out what they are, and some of them even choose to drink it or use it for whatever they may use. That was the birth of the Are You Dumber Than a European quiz. We took pictures of European Union plant-based beverages. They don't have dairy terms on them. And yet somehow, if you have a container with a picture of a beverage and maybe some coffee and a sign that could show some creaminess, perhaps you, like a European, can figure out that that beverage would be possibly used for coffee. So this is a tongue-in-cheek, sort of lighthearted look at some of the regulatory differences that we have in the European Union versus the United States. And in this case, sort of telling the United States, the Food and Drug Administration, hey, you know, we don't think Americans are dumber than Europeans, and they seem to be able to figure it out over there. Why can't we have some dairy integrity over here so that consumers here have the same transparency that European Union consumers have in terms of what something is and what something isn't?
Well, I got to tell you, when people jump on, and I'm sure, as you said, a lot of people are taking this quiz just to see, but the explanations you give, the research that you give, how much fun did you have writing this?
Well, it was a lot of fun, but there's an important message here, which is that part of the problem that we have, and this is what the European Union is heading off through its regulatory structure, is that when you use milk, when you use a dairy term for a plant-based beverage, that creates a confusion over nutritional content. People see the word milk, they assume certain things with milk in terms of calcium, protein, etc. When you have that in the United States, you're actually creating a consumer health issue, which has been acknowledged by several FDA commissioners, which research bears out, which the European Union, with their stricter regulatory regime, avoids. Apparently, the consumers can still use it for what they use it for and buy it for what they buy it for without that consumer health issue that we actually have created in the United States.
Absolutely. Big intent here. Nutritional value comes with milk and not the same in other products. Alan, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Alan Bjerga with the National Milk Producers Federation. If you'd like to take this quiz, you can go to nmpf.org and see if you can tell what's dairy and what's not.